How are you all doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi, and welcome to, I don't know, digging around in the slave pens. So I had not seen them until recently, but there were videos of hunters solo farming slave pens heroic back in original TBC. That made me want to see what hunters could do in slave pens normal on the beta. And while I haven't proven worthy to Hunter Jesus just yet, I am pretty happy with the results I've gotten. Keep in mind, all of this is beta, so anything could change at any time. I've also only done this for like a day and a half, so there's plenty of ways to make this even more efficient. Let's talk about XP farming first, because this was way better than I expected. No rest XP, no aspect of the Viper, tier 2 level gear, and I'm getting about 135k XP per hour. That's not too bad. There are also some weird XP bugs on the beta where some mobs are giving way less XP. If I was pushing more consumes, didn't have to deal with bugs, had better gear, I could definitely break 150k XP per hour, fairly certain of that. If you have a good route and things aren't crowded, you can get that or a bit more from questing. But if questing isn't an option because Blizz just tried to throw layers and everyone being funneled through Hellfire, it makes questing a bullshit to the maximum. Plus 2, well, we do have this. 135k is also with no rest XP. If you have rest XP, this will most likely beat questing with rest XP since all the XP comes from mobs. This is an excellent way to burn rest XP if you have some alt hunters lying around. But does it beat dungeon cleave? I haven't tested. I would assume this is a little bit less, although it does have some positives over dungeon cleaving anyway. But where I think this is actually really great is pet XP. You don't need a pet to do these pulls. It doesn't take any specific spec or consumables. It's really easy, really safe, and you just get a lot of pet XP. I'll probably keep this in my back pocket for when I need to level pets later on. You do get rep from these kills as well, although it's not a massive amount. When it comes to specs, I tried all 3. BM was actually the best, which surprised me. With all of the cleaving, I thought the big multi-shots would make marks best. Serve, though, probably is the best for this, but you need to be good with your explosive traps, and we need to stack some more pulls, so it's going to be a little riskier, but definitely doable. You can also use Wyvern Sting to delay some pulls if you're really good. If you do go serve, though, just make sure you don't get entrapment. It's kind of like Frost Mages, you don't want to root them because it's going to split up the mobs and then it's much more difficult to kite them. Anyway, now that our expectations are appropriately simmering, let's go over the pulls. Bogstrocks are nothing, they have no special abilities, just run by them. The slaves, they are fucked. The first pull is the hardest one in the instance if there are slaves. Those are the ones with mana bars. If it's just the melee guys, it's an easy pull. However, I think there's some threat drops or bug threat here. You'll probably have to wing clip and run through a few of these because they're going to attack you, not your pet, pretty much every time. The slaves have a Frostbolt, but also a Frost Nova, and they will use it even if you aren't their target, so that can take you by surprise if you're not careful. What I like to do is chain this pull with the next pull, which is 2 pets in the tunnel. They're Coilfang champions. Those guys aren't anything special, we'll just have the pet pull them back like we've been doing for all of Classic. The other mobs in the tunnel are neutral, so this is a safe place to FD and bring your pet back up. Next pull is more Bogstrocks, but there are some Naga that patrol around. If you hug the left wall, they shouldn't aggro. I'm not sure if they'll aggro you if you're 60 though, but they do patrol around anyway. And then we just do a normal pet pull on those Bogstrocks. Once we get by them, we're going to FD over by this pen. It's another safe place to res your pet if he got trucked, but he should have despawned. Now you have a few options for this pull and the next one. You can chain them together and that works, but then you have to kite and kill 4 mobs. It's doable and not too bad, but if you have really terrible gear, then you might want to split these up. If you split them, just do a normal pet pull and then FD in the tunnel. I'm going to chain them here. So instead I'll do a normal pet pull, but then not FD. We run through the tunnel. And there will be 2 more Naga patrolling in here. These ones are technicians which cast Rain of Fire. Just move out of it, or Intimidate, or Silencing Shot. It doesn't hit that hard, but it can add up. Now at this point we want to go under the ramp, not to the right. If you go to the right, you'll bring a lot of extra Naga. You can kite all of them, but they do throw up some debuffs and they can get separated because of their cast times. Plus we don't have a lot of AoE, so I don't do them all at once. Now more importantly, the boss patrols down this ramp, and if some Naga run in front of him, he will pull. So once you run under the ramp and have those 2 or 4 Naga following you, go up this broken part in the wall. We're going to use this ledge to kite mobs around. There are a couple of places you can use to get up onto the ledge, but for the first pull, you have to use the one with the broken wall. I usually like to place my trap here where the wall curves. In this spot with the boxes, and I don't know, is this a vase, whatever the fuck, is where we're going to kill them. If we're on the ledge and they are on the ledge, they'll come at us. If we get off of the ledge, they need to path down to the spot in the broken wall we used to get up here. So you use this box and ledge to send them back and forth. It's really, really easy. You can juggle a ton of mobs like this after you practice it. And this spot is where we are going to kill everything. The strat does not change for any of the other mobs. Put your trap down, damage them as they come towards you, jump off when they get too close, keep damaging them, and jump back up when they start to get too far. It is easy as shit. It's way easier than any Dire Maul tribute farming was. Now, this is a good time to cover the other mob types. I don't recommend trying to kill the Coilfang champions. They will fear you or your pet, and they need to be kited back from pretty far, so I skip them. Coilfang Collaborator, okay, these guys are annoying. They will cast Cripple on you and your pet. I don't think it's affecting our ranged attack speed, but it does hurt our pet's DPS a lot. It also slows us and makes the jump on the ledge pretty annoying. Now, if you farmed Dire Maul Tribute, you are thinking, just use your PvP trinket. Unfortunately, that doesn't work on this cripple. I did try it. Coilfang Defender. These are probably the easiest mobs to kill here. They put up a Spell Reflect shield, and that's it. And as I mentioned, the Bogstrocks don't do anything. The Technicians have Rain of Fire. It can be interrupted, or you can just move out of it. They're not a big deal. So, after you've killed those 4 Naga in one group or 2, let's go over the other packs we can kill. These 2 in front of the ramp, you can actually pull these from the ledge. Just make sure they don't run on the boss or he will pull. On the far left side and far right side, there are more packs. They are pretty much the same as the 2 in the middle here. After this, we're going to kite mobs in from before that tunnel. Don't try to grab the slaves and slave master. They will leash fairly quickly. If there's no frostbolt ones, you can just kite them around a trap if you want, but I didn't really find it worth it. What we want are these 2 packs of Bogstrocks. They go down like a bag of shit and are worth a lot of XP. They also won't pull any Naga mobs they run over, so just kite these ones back to our kill spot. Since these Bogstrocks don't pull Naga, you can kite them in front of the box next to this pillar if you'd rather. It's a little faster, but slightly more dangerous, which is to say, not dangerous at all. After those 2, there is 1 pack of Bogstrocks left. It's a little bit harder to pull. It's by where the Naga patrols we avoided by hugging the wall are. We still gotta avoid those. Shit. You can try to pull those, but I don't think it's worth it. The female Naga have arcane bolts, so it's a little annoying trying to kite them or mana burn them. You have room to slip in between the Naga and just shoot these Bogstrocks, but you can also do a pet despawn pull on them. Both work. After that, I usually reset, but you can kill mennu, and then there are more trash packs up there, like ones we've previously killed. XP per hour wise, I don't think it's worth killing mennu. Alright, so that's the route I've come up with, but I do think there are ways we can tighten it up. And another important thing, the chest farming potential here is also pretty dope shit. I looked up original TBC chest farming videos, and it looks like there are 3 possible spawn locations. 2 in the room with Mennu's bridge, and 1 before the Quagmirran cave. The 2 in the bridge room are very easy for us to get as hunters. We can kill those mobs, no issue. The other one, we can get it, but I don't think it's worth it. You have to kill Mennu or run by him, so that's a little risky. Then to get the chest, you need to pet pull the mobs away from it. FD to get out of combat, and then loot the chest before they get back, then jump in the water. It's possible, but without a more reliable way to get it, I have been skipping it. Now, just to annoy us, these chests can be locked, but Sephorium charges will open chests now, so engineers can pop them open. I've tested large and powerful. Large charges do not work, but powerful do work, so stock up on some of those if you're going to do this. The loot has been nice, fairly good chance for BOE blues, but I have also got some really shitty greens that come with some old ass level 49 potions. Alright, moving on to the bosses who, I won't lie, they are assholes. Mennu though, he's not that hard. The old videos showed hunters being able to solo him on heroic. It just took like half an hour. I workshopped this on stream and we came up with a more efficient strat than the one in the old video. And I've gotten even better at it since, being able to kill him in around 5 minutes of kiting. Obviously, better gear and more practice, we can get it even lower, and of course, there are the mana regen bugs on beta. To take care of him, it's best to drain his mana first, because these lightning bolts hit hard as shit. Even on normal, once his mana is drained, it's really easy. Just kite him around the ledge like the trash mobs. The only important thing is taking out his totems immediately. All the totems. He drops a healing ward, stone skin, earth grab, and a fire nova. All of them do what you'd expect and need to go down fast. Except the fire nova. I don't know if this is bugged or what, but it actually always goes off when you attack it. I still kill it just so it doesn't get in the way of targeting other totems. Your pet will take some damage from that, but you can men pet that up, it's not going to dick things down. Other than that, just kite him with the box and ledge like you do the trash mobs. He does drop a belt that might be worth it to you. Tracker's Belt. Rokmar, I'm not sure. I haven't got to trying him yet, but there's not much of a reason to kill him anyway. He drops a crossbow, but Quagmirran is the big one. He's the main reason I even came to the slave pens. In those old videos, he was soloable on heroic, but after about a year that video was published, the creator said it was nerfed, but he didn't elaborate. I guess he just wanted me to have to figure this shit out 13 years later. Thanks. Sadly, it definitely is nerfed, and that is nut shattering. I spent a lot of time trying to make this work. We tried a ton of things on stream to make this happen and couldn't do it. I came back here off stream with a cat pet to see if I could pull just Quagmirran, and that didn't work. I stealthed to Quagmirran with the cat, only tagged Quagmirran, and while that does avoid all the Naga trash, he will pull these bog stalks. The bog stalks aren't too difficult to kite, so while annoying, that doesn't end things. What does end things is he does an insane AoE that does instant damage and leaves a big dot. He did it through the walls even. And it just trucked this poor pet into the ground so bad, he asked if I could drop him off back in Winter Spring. Maybe you could outrange the AoE and just run in for shots when the AoE is on cooldown, but add on the bog stalks and I don't think it's possible, or at least it's not worth it. There are going to be better farms out there. If you have any ideas on how to make Quag possible though, I am happy to go try them. If we could solo Quagmirran on heroic, that would be huge for hunter solo farming. Herbing and or spawns. So I don't have mining or herbalism on this hunter, and mining has some bugs on the beta anyway, so I can't be sure of this stuff. But there are ancient lichen, ragveil, and adamantite spawns I've seen that I can get for certain, and a lot more of them you could get if you wanted to pet pull for them. So there is some potential here for herbing and mining farms. At this point, I'm pretty happy with what I've discovered in Slave Penis, and probably am going to move on for now, Unless we decide Rokmar is worth it, we'll come back and try that. Or we can go back and work on maximizing XP per hour with explosive traps, survival, and pack stacking. But I'll leave that up to you guys because that's not something I'm personally going to use too much. Outside of the pet, and then maybe I'd use it on an alt hunter. My main hunter, I probably wouldn't level that way anyway. I'm not sure which dungeon to try next, so let me know if you think there's one that would be especially good for hunter soloing. And with Hunter Jesus' blessing, we will find our new DM North. If you enjoyed the video, hit that sub button, bell, like button, share button, all that other shit. I appreciate each and every one I get, and we even have memberships now. You can check them out by clicking the join button right by the sub button. It is absolutely the best way to support the channel, and you'll get some really cool emotes. Plus, it's way better and cheaper than a Twitch sub. We've gotten a lot of new members lately. Massive thanks to those big bobbed, wonderful people. I've got a lot of WoW content already on the channel and have much more coming, including streaming right here on YouTube, so be sure to stick around for that. If there's any specific WoW Classic or TBC Classic content you'd like to see, be sure to let me know in them comments. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one.